Welcome to Silent Hollow. Silent Hollow, population dwindling. A forgotten town, nestled deep in the Appalachian Mountains. Rusting cars, swallowed by weeds, lined the main street. Empty houses stood like hollow-eyed ghosts. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the wind whistling through broken windows. The town felt abandoned, forgotten by time and man. A palpable sense of dread hung in the air, thick and heavy. The setting sun cast long, eerie shadows, stretching out like grasping claws. Even the birds seemed to avoid this place. A haunting inheritance. John Turner inherited his grandfather's house in Silent Hollow. He never knew his grandfather, a recluse who died under mysterious circumstances. John, a struggling writer, saw it as an opportunity, a quiet place to finish his novel. He packed his bags, ignoring the unease twisting in his gut. The house stood at the edge of town, a looming Victorian mansion with peeling paint and boarded-up windows. The front porch creaked ominously under John's weight. Inside, dust lay thick, undisturbed for years. The air was stale, heavy with the scent of decay. Whispers in the walls. The first night John heard it, a faint, almost imperceptible sound that seemed to drift through the darkness. A soft whisper, his name carried on the wind. It was as if the house itself was trying to communicate with him. He dismissed it as his imagination, the house settling. After all, old houses make noises, don't they? But the whispers continued, growing louder each night. They became more insistent, more demanding. They seemed to come from the walls, from the very foundation of the house. Objects moved inexplicably, as if guided by unseen hands. Doors creaked open and slammed shut on their own. The house was alive with activity, a restless energy that couldn't be contained. John found cold spots in the house, pockets of freezing air that clung to him like icy fingers. The chills seemed to seep into his very bones. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched, that something else was in the house with him. The sense of an unseen presence grew stronger with each passing day. One night, drawn by an unseen force, John climbed the creaking stairs to the attic. Each step echoed through the silent house, amplifying the eerie atmosphere. The air up there was thick with dust and the smell of mildew. Cobwebs hung like ghostly curtains, swaying gently in the draught. A single dusty window cast a pale light on a trunk in the centre of the room. The light seemed to beckon him, drawing him closer. Compelled, John knelt and opened it. The hinges groaned in protest, as if they hadn't been moved in decades. Inside he found a child's toys, a wooden doll with vacant eyes staring blankly into the void, a rocking horse frozen mid-gallop, its once vibrant paint now faded and chipped. And then he saw it, tucked under a chipped teacup, a leather-bound journal. The cover was worn, the pages yellowed with age. He opened it, his heart pounding in his chest. The air seemed to grow colder as he began to read. The handwriting was spidery, barely legible. Each word seemed to crawl across the page, telling a story long forgotten. The creature, trapped, attic, must not escape. The words sent a chill down his spine, filling him with a sense of dread. A blood-curdling scream ripped through the silence, shattering the stillness of the night. It was a scream that seemed to come from the very depths of despair, echoing through the empty halls and sending chills down the spine of anyone who heard it. John slammed the journal shut, his blood turning to ice. The words he had read were too horrifying to comprehend, and he felt a cold sweat break out on his forehead. He couldn't believe what he had just discovered. He stumbled back, tripping over the trunk in his haste to escape. His heart pounded in his chest as he scrambled to his feet, desperate to get away from the dark secrets that the attic held. The shadows in the attic seemed to writhe and twist, taking on monstrous shapes. They loomed over him, their forms shifting and changing, as if they were alive and reaching out to him. John fled the attic, the screams echoing in his ears. He could still hear the haunting cries growing fainter as he put more distance between himself and the house. He didn't stop running until he was miles away from Silent Hollow, the image of the shadowy figure seared into his mind. Every step he took was fueled by pure terror, and he didn't dare look back. What was the creature trapped in the attic? The question gnawed at him, refusing to let go. It was a mystery that haunted his every waking moment. Why was it drawn to him? What had he done to attract its attention? These questions swirled in his mind, leaving him restless and afraid. John never returned to Silent Hollow, but the questions and the fear lingered. They followed him wherever he went, a constant reminder of the horrors he had witnessed. He couldn't escape the feeling that something evil had awakened in that house, something that was waiting, watching. It was a presence that he could feel, even miles away, and it filled him with an unshakable dread.